Hello and welcome to the Infinity Saga and Beyond, an MCU fan podcast. My name is Jordan, and with me today we have Chris. How are you today, Chris?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
And we have Ron.
What's up?
How are
Good
you
to be
doing, Ron?
here. Good to be here with you guys as always. Got another special guest with us as well today. I'll let him introduce himself.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's going on, guys? Oh, go
ahead. We have Garrett. Go ahead, Garrett. Introduce yourself.
Yeah. I'm Garrett. First time guest. Long time listener. Big fan. Glad to be here. Ready for the
Long time
rankings.
homie as well.
Yeah.
Long time home.
Yeah, so it's good to have a guest on, another Ravens fan, right? On the podcast. All four of us.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Ron, do you want to tell us the draft order for this MCU Villains Draft?
Yes. So we kind of put this one together a little bit last minute, but you know how we love doing these drafts. In the order today is going to go, ironically, in the exact order that our video boxes already are. Jordan 1, Chris 2, myself 3, and Garrett 4. Sorry, Garrett. We don't always give the guest last pick. That's just how it drew out today.
Oh, that's how it worked out with the Batman Villain Draft with Chris Evans. He had the last pick.
Yeah. Oh, God.
We kind of stacked it in favor for us. So
and he won the draft anyway.
Yeah, of course. The whole key of this is that we win. That's yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And then snake style. So Garrett will get 2 in a row.
He will.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
All right. So I guess we'll just jump right in here. And I'm going to go first pick. Should be very easy. I'm going to go Thanos, right? Like there's nobody else that you can.
Shocking development.
Just really great villain. Villain over 2 films, appears multiple times in the build up to Infinity War. So he's what the whole first saga is about. So I got to go with Thanos.
Yeah, there's no debate against it. You're responsible for 2 of the 3 most popular superhero movies of all time. My only real hope with you taking him is that people will think it's too chalk, even though it's like clearly the best pick.
Yeah. Thanos is very defining of the MCU. So I was like, there's no way I get Thanos, is there? It's like, all right, so my pick's pretty easy. Loki is pretty easy. You know, there's a couple ways it could have gone, but to me, the original Avengers movie, his constant battling with Thor, constantly questioning where he stands on the anti-hero, good guy, bad guy, trying to be the good brother thing, but ultimately, Battle of New York, and Loki's just that god of mischief. So definitely easy pick for me. My favorite character in the MCU at this point, I think, maybe. So yeah.
I love
the most complex character in the history of the MCU by far, and still going, which is cool, even though I doubt we'll see too much of him going forward until probably Secret Wars, and then that'll be probably it. But just everything we saw, obviously, in the movies you mentioned, and kind of the babyface turn we've seen in recent years, him going back to the light side and all the TVA cool stuff we've seen. The reason that I'm talking about this pick so much is because I am stalling a classic tactic times that used in the discussion while I am pondering between 2 here. Okay, Garrett, I will spare you here because yours was one of mine, but I'm going to go Killmonger with this.
Oh,
yeah,
you dirty dog.
I was honestly kind of hoping for 4. Because there was like 2 that I really wanted, and I know one of them is not going to get back to me, obviously, as I just referenced to you. But Killmonger, what more do you have to say? Michael B. Jordan, one of the most powerful performances we've seen in all of the MCU. I mean, again, what more do you have to say?
Do you want a hot take, Ron?
Oh boy! Oh no!
No.
I am a Michael B. Jordan fan, but I don't really care for Killmonger, and I don't even think he did a fantastic job in it, unfortunately.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is your Heath Ledger of Marvel.
Fire.
Yes. Yeah. No, I think, yeah, I'm not a big Killmonger fan. I think anybody that tries to say he's right, I feel like loses when he is going to start a war, a literal war to get back at people. I'm like, all right, he's not really right. Like maybe he had some good points, but he's not.
Well,
He's not like, yeah.
It's the classic thing. It's the classic villain thing, just like we see with Thanos. Not so much with Loki.
Yeah.
Loki's more of the Joker style vision, just an asshole because
Mischief,
he's an asshole.
yeah.
Yeah. But a worthwhile, genuinely right cause, and just in a totally extremist, crazy way of going about it. Obviously, you're gonna have the people saying, "Oh, he was justified. He was the hero of that movie." Obviously,
Right.
Obviously, he was not. That's ridiculous. But yeah. So Killmonger here, glad to have him.
Killmonger it is.
All right,
Garrett.
Killmonger.
You got 2.
All right, Ron. All right, Ron. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. Mommy is back. Wanda Maximoff, the villain from Multiverse of Madness. She is my first pick.
But yeah, let me just state rules, by the way, because we didn't do this at the top of the show. Anybody that's been a main antagonist in the movies, so I know people would try to probably fight on Loki and Scarlet Witch and say they're not villains, but since they were antagonists in Avengers, and WandaVision was also a villain in Age of Ultron for a bit, so yeah, so she fits too for this and for Multiverse Madness. But I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Yeah, you could make the argument that she's a villain in Multiverse of Madness, WandaVision, and Age of Ultron in a little bit.
Yeah, WandaVision, she's holding the whole town hostage.
A little dark when you think about it.
Yeah, dude, it really is fucked up. She just an entire town just like, yep, you all don't have life anymore because I'm depressed and I want my life back. Like crazy.
Yeah,
I'm almost like interested to see, well, not almost, very interested to see how they like redeem her. Like she kind of had her moment at the end of Multiverse of Madness where she realized how nuts she was being, but I don't know. She's been on a fucking tear these last few years. I feel like she's got a little more repenting to do before she's just, back to being the Wanda hero Avenger, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of
back
thing.
in the lunchbox.
You know what? Yeah, Doctor Strange. She's not back on. She's not going on a lunchbox.
Nope. All right, Garrett. So you got another one here.
All right. Second pick. There was a few directions I wanted to go.
Motherfucker, I know it. You're gonna take mine, you motherfucker. I know it.
There's a few directions I can go. We foreshadowed it a little bit. I'm gonna go Ultron.
All right.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Underrated villain,
Big
overhated movie.
Big time. Great performance by James Spader too. I really hope that the rumors of him coming back at some point are true. They're saying like maybe Armor Wars or something like that. It would only just kind of add on to your pick and make it even better. But I love Ultron. I thought he was great. Like Chris said, the most overhated MCU movie, I think, by far.
Yeah, and we've heard whispers that Ultron and Thanos might be coming
in
back.
Secret Wars. There's nothing off the table, as we know. They could be bringing in anybody they want. They could probably bring in fucking Batman if they want. Ooh, I'm swearing a lot in this podcast. Sorry, I don't want to get us
a lot of F-bombs.
Explicit.
Really, yeah, probably
explicit, I guess.
more in the last couple minutes than I have in like our entire time of doing this show. My apologies. All right, back to
It's after hours when we record.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, maybe that's it because we're recording a little later than usual.
Yeah.
All right, back to me. You didn't take my pick, thankfully. I'm going James Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier. It's so heartbreaking the way things happened in Captain America: The First Avenger, and then just so like almost like creepy the way they brought him back. Like there was that element of like anytime he would come on screen, the background music would play like the scream of him falling off the train in the first one, and it really it was one of those things that like sent a shiver up your spine, and just the sort of story progression between those two movies, between Steve and him, and just it's a layup pick
Mhm.
there. I think he was the last of the ones that I had like a genuine first round grade on in this one.
Yeah, it's one of those sounds that they put in the movie to make you feel like uneasy
Mhm.
every time.
Yeah.
it comes on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
screen.
Especially like when you're in a theater and hearing it, like you almost don't get it when you're watching at home, even though you kind of do. But like when you're sitting right next to a, like a speaker in the theater and that screech is coming in, it's like, geez, man.
Mhm. Yeah, Bucky Barnes, even when he kind of gets on the right side of things, he's always going to carry that guilt with him.
Mhm.
And we're talking about complex characters. When you're a villain, you got to be complex, or else it's just boring.
Killed one of the greatest minds in history, Mister
Mhm.
Mr. Stark there, Mr. Howard. All right, Chris, back to you.
I'm sprinting to the podium right now. I'm not stalling. This is the guy I wanted.
Really?
It's a little recency bias, maybe, but I'm going with the High Evolutionary.
Good pick.
Ooh, I
Dang,
really
Okay.
he was on my
like that pick.
list.
Mhm.
So I didn't know if I could wait on him or not because I was
You couldn't
thinking
have.
maybe skip. And here's the thing: he was so damn hateable in that movie, and he was so damn compelling. And Rocket's story is as important to me as any story in the MCU. So the High Evolutionary, I don't want to call him a favorite, but it's just I think he's a villain that is done so incredibly well. He has a clear defined purpose. He's a clear defined goal. He goes about it in the most ruthless of ways. And I thought Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was the MCU standing up and saying, stop messing with us. We're still the MCU. We're still good, and I loved it. I mean, because I enjoyed like Multiverse of Madness. I enjoyed the Marvels. I'm enjoying a lot of what we're getting, but like this movie, I felt like it was an event film, and it didn't get treated as such. But I love this movie. I'm glad it was successful, and the High Evolutionary, packs a punch.
He was just such a jerk. Like just from the first time on screen, he did like nothing redeeming about him at all. Even his sort of end goal is like there's a lot of like political kind of like parallels that you can go through history and see about
Mm-hmm.
like creating the perfect race and all that stuff. Just an absolute dick. Like never have I been happier to
Yeah,
see somebody get their face ripped off in a movie. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
He was awesome. Honestly, I hope we get a little more from him. He's obviously still alive. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, they left it open.
he seems like somebody like maybe somebody like a Doom is like, hey, I need an army. Like, do you want to like build me one of those sort of thing, or like just pick anything, pick any other cosmic kind of villain if you want to go that route too. So I hope we do see more of him.
I can see that reveal coming.
He's too good. Like he's too good to be a one-off.
Yeah, his the acting is really great. Okay, my turn.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
back to back.
All right, I'm gonna go Red Skull.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Start it all.
Captain America: First Avenger is one of my favorites in the MCU. I think it's underrated. I guess it's got more appreciation recently, where people have said that. But I remember when I first saw it, and then I walked out of the theater, and people were like, ripping it online for whatever reason. But I enjoyed First Avenger. I think Red Skull and Hugo Weaving as Red Skull is really great. I'm glad they brought Red Skull back in Endgame. So that's going to be my first pick.
It's a great pick. I didn't even know like because that's so long ago. I didn't know that people hated on it. I was actually going to make the point of like up to then we had never really seen like that kind of thing work in superhero movies. It was always very grounded. Even the first Iron Man movie, like there wasn't like some deformed like heavy prosthetic like sort of like thing in that movie. And it worked really well. And it hadn't up until then. So you can make the argument that Red Skull was like the first one that showed that every villain just doesn't, or I guess just like kind of every villain doesn't have to be that.
Yeah.
I like the pick.
All right, I guess pick number 2. I'm gonna go with Kingpin.
Oh wow. Okay.
Echo and
Kingpin.
Hawkeye. So I'm gonna make the pick now. Just because I think Vincent D'Onofrio plays him so well. Yes, he hasn't gone up against, if you want to count Daredevil, you can. I guess it's in that weird limbo right now. But you know, I think he plays Kingpin so well. I'm glad that they brought him back in Hawkeye and Echo. So looking forward to Daredevil, Born Again.
I'm a huge Daredevil fan. I really enjoyed what he did in the Netflix show. So I love that pick. And unbelievably, I'm sprinting to the podium each time.
Hold on.
I cannot.
Because
Okay, okay.
I wanted to talk about Fisk for a second, because that's one that is going to, if Thanos didn't, that's one that's going to win you the draft, because people are going to say, oh, and they're going to like include all of the Daredevil stuff in it now, even though
hmm
this is an MCU.
Even though we're not sure, yeah.
Yes, yes, like the parameters of this draft would have to be judged on Echo and Hawkeye, but that will obviously not be the case, which isn't a big deal, obviously, because he is, at the end of the day, he is awesome, and all this, we could come back to this draft a year from now, and or maybe a little more than a year from now, once we've seen Daredevil and Spider-Man 4, he could be the number 2 pick. You know what I mean?
hmm
Okay, Chris.
Yeah.
There you go.
I am running to the podium. I have the name written on the card. Mysterio.
Really? Wow.
Oh,
He was on-
I like
Okay.
That's a high pick.
Okay.
I
Let
like
me
him.
tell you this. I thought he was one of the most enjoyable, top 5 enjoyable villains. I think Far From Home is the most hated on MCU movie that makes no sense. Underrated movie. I think Far From Home is top echelon MCU, and I stand by it. I am on a limb there. I don't care. I enjoy the Spider-Man trilogy so damn much, and Mysterio, like that ending with him saying Peter Parker is Spider-Man, it's just an incredible moment. Jake Gyllenhaal killed it. I thought he was the. You talk about the top acting talent to do a villain in the MCU. He's about as high as it gets. You know, this is my go out on a limb pick, but I sprinted to the podium because I said I knew he was going to be on my list somewhere. I just knew it.
I don't hate the pick at all. I'm very much in your camp. I thought that Far From Home is a lot better than people gave it credit for, and I think that he's awesome in that movie. I think he's a little early for me with the pick, but still a guy that, like, he was definitely one I was targeting in one of my last 2 rounds to get on my team. So I can't say
What we're saying, Chris, is you could have walked to the podium. You didn't have to.
Well, you know what? I didn't think Wilson Fisk was going to get taken that early, so
yeah, this
it's
draft
a
has been
little
pretty surprising so far. It has. All right, so we're back to me. I'm going to keep in the spirit of Spider-Man here because I want my graphic to look good. I'm taking Norman Osborn, Green Goblin.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
son of
Sorry.
a.
I know I don't.
He was on my list.
I know I shouldn't get the Spider-Man 1 sort of stuff on the graphic, but when people see it, ultimately they're going to think of that. But even if you take that out of it, just everything that he did in No Way Home was crazy in terms of
He kills Aunt May.
Yeah, he kills Aunt May, and he's like responsible for basically the biggest like growth moment in Peter's life up to that point by sparing his life at the end of the movie. So and his performance, we don't even have to get into his performance. It was incredible. The way he can sort of do that, like Jekyll and Hyde, turn it on and off thing, is crazy. And Defoe's another one. He's got a little bit of creepiness to him, just naturally with that crazy, like face and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, glad to have him here. I think it's a steal getting him in the 3rd. Green Goblin.
I almost reached for him instead of Kingpin, but I thought Kingpin has more weight with the two projects he was in. But yeah.
All right, G Money back to back.
All right. With my first pick, I wasn't positive that, or wasn't confident that he would be here, but I'm glad he is. I'm gonna have to go with Wenwu. I'm gonna go with Wenwu. Um, I wish we would. I wish we would get to see more of him outside of Shang-Chi. I really
Yeah.
liked Shang-Chi. Um, I know it came out during a
Mhm.
weird time. We were just coming out of COVID, or it was like one of the first movies to release
End of,
when we were
end of
like
2021.
trying to
So like,
transition out.
yeah, right around like the
Yeah.
NFL was just kind of starting to sprinkle fans back and stuff.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go Wenwu, and with my second pick, I'm gonna go. Let me check my board just in case. I'm gonna go
Nice.
All
Hela.
right.
Nice.
I'm gonna go
You can't
Hela.
go wrong with Ragnarok. Yeah.
I think they could have made Hela her own villain for at least more than one movie. I really liked her character. I would have loved if they explored her character more. They kind of just introduced her as Thor's and Loki's sister, and then like never talked about it again. So I Hela was one of my favorite characters in Ragnarok.
Her
So
sword
I'm
in
gonna go
that
Hela.
I like
movie,
that pick.
her sword in that movie is the black necro sword, which is supposed to be Gore's, blade, and then we can get into all that stuff. But I agree, she was awesome. She was really strong, and that's like the thing that sucks about they only used her once, because in terms of if this was like a battle royal MCU villain draft, she would be a top 3 pick easy.
Yeah.
And she's just
Yeah.
intimidating as hell, and the costume design, that green and black works so well. I love the pick. Okay, what do I do here? Fudge. Okay. Screw it. Why not? Agatha Harkness.
Okay.
Love Agatha.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That is a
Ooh.
nice
She
wild card. I like it.
wasn't on my board,
She's
but I
great.
love that.
It was Agatha all along. Can't wait for that show. It's very encouraging to see that they only had to do 1 day of reshoots on House of Harkness or whatever the hell it's called this week. So it shows that they've got some pretty good confidence in it.
Mhm.
But yeah, she's great. Catherine Hahn is charismatic as hell, and I can't wait to see what else she does with the character going forward.
Amen to
Agreed.
that. I love that pick. I love that pick.
Good pick, yeah.
I'm a little annoyed that I have to go now. Yeah.
Following
I,
Wenwu and Agatha's tough.
oh god. Well, it's funny because Hello is a character that I was thinking
Oh,
of.
and Hela,
Yeah. I'm gonna go Namor.
That was who I was deciding between.
He was
That was my next pick if you made
Yeah,
it there.
he was. Well, you're getting to that point where there's a lot of close characters.
Yep.
So, like, I'm crunched up. I had and I'm just picking one. But Namor, Wakanda Forever, a movie that unfortunately, because Chadwick Boseman passed too soon, didn't get the same level of praise as Black Panther.
it doesn't get viewed in this, like it gets viewed more as just like a memorial movie,
It's overshadowed. Yeah.
as
Yeah.
opposed to being like an entry into the MCU. And very much
But
And like
they really fleshed out Namor. They fleshed out his world. They fleshed out his reasons. He was a very motivated villain. They add a little bit of suspense in the movie as I have to shore what is going on. They could have very easily made this a wannabe Aquaman kind of ripoff, and they did not do that. I thought this was a very well written character and a very well written movie. And I think he was the perfect antagonist for Shuri. So I love Namor as a villain. So, I mean, I don't know that, I don't know where, like, the people think he should be taken, but I'm comfortable taking him here.
love the pick, dude. When he in like when he wow, sorry, brain fart there. The scene where he rides up and he's looking at Black Panther's mom, the Queen, through the glass, and he just shoots the water through it. Like, oh my god, dude, so awesome, so awesome.
Bone chilling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I have my last two already, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're moving along. This is a quick one.
Yeah, so I'm picking between Taskmaster and Carly Morgenthau.
Oh,
I'm just
okay, you're
kidding.
kidding.
I'm
Okay.
not. No, I am debating between a couple here for these last two spots. Dang. Okay. I guess I'm gonna go with my first one is going to be. Damn, I had it on here. You know what? Let's go Vulture.
Good
I'm
pick.
gonna go Vulture.
There you go.
Good pick.
Vulture.
I
like it.
think that
I like it.
scene in the car ride when they
Mhm.
put the pieces, when he's putting the pieces together, and then you also had when Peter's meeting him at the door and realizes who he is, and that moment in the theater was a shock for me. Nowadays will be spoiled on Twitter as soon as all these leakers that leak crap all the time.
Mhm.
That was such a cool moment to be in the theater for. And then that scene when like the light turns green, right? And he's just
Mhm.
still staring Peter down.
Yep.
Um,
Through the windshield or the
Yeah.
rearview mirror. Yeah.
Made Vulture so much more intimidating than he usually is in the comics and stuff, where he's usually a like old man who's kind of a joke.
And he's
Um,
like dying, like legitimately dying, like in a large amount of projects. Like
Yes, yeah.
so yeah, no, it was an awesome take on him. Really, really kind of fleshed out and like gave him a much more proper and kind of connective backstory. I just my only wish is that they didn't do the whole stupid Sony stuff with Morbius and we won't go
I
on
haven't
this.
even seen
Yeah.
Mhm.
Morbius. I only know of that from leaks, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Morbius was an experience. I saw Morbius 2 weeks after it came out, and I went to the theater. And 2 weeks after it came out, I was still able to get one of those like limited release
Oh,
posters
jeez.
that came with the like, release night. 2 weeks after the movie came out, they were like, "Here's your limited
Oh
release
my
Damn.
god.
poster."
Between that and we
Yeah, it
we
was
just
tough.
got through talking about Madam Web for 20 minutes on the last one. So
Oh.
yeah, Sony gonna Sony, I guess.
Mm.
It is.
Morbin time.
And it's webbing time.
So for my last pick, I don't know how to count this or how to. Okay,
Are
is
you
this
gonna
two different characters or is this one? All right, Kang and He Who Remains. Can I
You
only
can
pick
have 'em.
one or am I?
You can have them.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that.
It's gonna kill your graphic.
That's a
you
good-
you have to use Jonathan Majors. That's on the graphic. You gotta use Majors.
I will.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
And I'm not picking him because of his assault allegations or anything. I'm glad they dropped him, but I am a Kang fan. I've been just like in other media and stuff, and he's here, and I have to. I enjoyed him in Loki, more than Quantumania, but
So
it's unfortunate that Jonathan Majors is a dick, but and a jerk. But I like the character, so I'm going to pick him.
Yeah, it's just
okay.
it's really unfortunate, man. Just wasted potential. What could have been.
Yep.
And granted, like we know that the writing of the character, like when you talk about Quantumania and stuff, and showing him like lose on screen what feels like a lot, like basically every time we've seen him on screen, he's ended up dying or losing in the end somehow. So that's a little bit like but the performance
Mhm.
itself and all that stuff, it was just wasted potential. It sucks. But to your point, it's a good pick, especially in the last round. The performances that
Mhm.
he gave, and especially as He Who Remains in that first time we saw him in
Yes.
Loki, it was like chilling.
Yeah.
All right, Chris.
Right, Chris.
All I gotta say is Tony Stark was able to build this in a box of scraps in a cave. All right. So I'm going Obadiah. I'm going Ironmonger. You go back to the origin of the MCU. you go back to what it started off, and his motives were simple. He was really just a basic comic book villain, but he propelled the plot, and he owned that role so very well. And I think Iron Man would not have been as successful if he was a flat villain. So I'm gonna give, and that line, just the delivery of it, it's just like you could hear it in your head forever. So in my last pick, I'll go him. I wasn't in love with any of my options at this point.
Mhm.
It certainly wasn't going to be Justin Hammer.
I almost
So
picked him. I
uh,
love Justin Hammer. I do.
He'll be back.
we'll wait for the real weapon specialists.
That little dance he does when he's coming out on stage near the end of Iron Man 2 just gets me every time. I love it so much.
He's such a tool. He's like the shooter from like Happy Gilmore of the MCU.
The perfect name for like a Giga Chad dork like that too. Justin Hammer.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
All right. So, what do I do with my last pick here? Because there's one that I'm picking between that I think is like more important and has been more formative to like the character whose movie they were involved in, but the other one I just love so much more.
The anticipation's killing me.
All right, I'm going to go Ego the Living Planet.
I almost went him too.
That was gonna be my finisher. I was gonna finish it off.
If I didn't have the High Evolutionary, I would have gone with Ego. But I was like, I don't want two Guardians villains.
He's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Just like and the way he plays like such a cold, like callous, non-caring, like when he says to Peter, oh, it killed me so much when I had to put that tumor in her head. It's like, all right, dude. He barely even sounded like he was trying to be a sarcastic asshole when he said that to Peter. Just another one, nothing redeeming about him at all, but just played wonderfully. I don't know why the actor's name. He's a very famous guy. Kurt Russell. Thank you. I was for some reason Kurt Jeff Russell. Bridges was popping into my head. Different, yeah. But yeah, you can't go wrong. Also, one of the coolest like designs of a villain we've seen, and that's one like when you look at it in the comics, you're like on screen, I don't really know how that's gonna play. It might be a little too cheesy, but it looked awesome in the movie. My only regret is that I didn't see it in IMAX because that would have been awesome.
This is why I am so excited about James Gunn in DC. He can pull a lot off.
Yeah, he can.
But underrated movie too, Guardians Volume 2. My favorite scene in the whole MCU might be little baby Groot, the little Groot dancing as they're like dun, 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 dun,
sun is shining in the sky. That was a beautiful scene. Yeah.
And I like the gif where it's like me walking into work knowing that it's gonna be a shitty day.
Like I need something from that. I need something like that from Gunn, like in the DC. Whether it's like Titans, like I feel like a scene like that would fit them very well, or like I doubt they'll go Suicide Squad again so soon. But
that's why Jimmy Olsen exists. You'll get a silly scene with him. I book it.
All right, Mr. Irrelevant, Garrett.
Ego was my like last one that I was like super confident in. The rest I have a pool of like 5 where I'm like, I guess I'll take it. Dang, this really does suck. Let's see. I'm gonna go off of actor performance. And I'm gonna have to go with Gore the God Butcher. I thought Christian Bale got the shit end of the stick on his role in that movie. I thought he was really, really good as Gore. I think me and Rod loved Thor Love and Thunder immediately after seeing it. And then after like the excitement wore off, we were like, wait, did we actually like that movie?
Yeah, it was great, dude. It's so funny. Like, because we were still in that. It was what right off the heels of Multiverse of Madness, I believe. So it
Yeah.
was just it was
Mhm.
right before. I think Thor was basically the movie that like made everybody switch up, right? So like
Yeah.
we were just
I
like blinded. We were just like
it's
blinded at that point. We were like, yeah, it
yeah.
was great. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, the fact that I got that Mjolnir collectible popcorn tin that day, 1,000% played into the rating of the movie for me.
Yeah.
Like that thing is so awesome.
Hey, you're giving us your review with the
Yeah.
hammer in your hand, and you're like,
This
"Oh,
is
it's
great.
amazing."
Yeah. all the kids doing the freaking stuff at the end. Yeah. For the record, the end of that
Yeah,
movie was
I thought,
really good though. Like with Eternity and all that stuff,
yeah,
and Natalie Portman dying and stuff, like that was really good.
If you just take Zeus out of it and like take out some of the ridiculousness and the floating bad CGI, I think it could be like an 8.5 out of 10, and I think it's like a 7.5 movie.
yeah. Well, I thought I really liked the darkness of of Gore. They really
Mhm.
made him creepy. And I really really liked that. I thought I thought he going into the movie, I expected him to be way bigger of
Yeah.
a villain in the movie.
Mhm.
He didn't have as much screen time as I expected. But the time that he did get, I thought Christian Bale did a really good
Dude,
job.
that black and white fighting scene was awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And the one of the other scenes that killed it for me for the movie was when the kids all got the
Mhm.
power. Whatever, I can't remember what he did at the end. It was like he was like the Asgardian.
He made them all worthy, right?
Yeah,
Of it or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and all the yeah. That part, I was like that part kind of pulled me out of like the reality that I was in, and I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of kiddish.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of the kids, though, another scene that I really liked with Gore was when they're all like sitting there, like in the I don't know what it was, like was it like a cage or something that they were all in,
Yeah.
and then he just kind of pops out of the
Yeah,
shadows. It's like, oh my god, like that was really cool too. Yeah, the
yeah,
only thing wrong was that he didn't have enough screen time. To your point.
What I liked
yeah,
about Gore was it showed the perversion of a singular thought that you just obsess on to the point where you've lost the point.
Mm.
And I thought that was like there was storytelling, and so Thor: Love and Thunder wasn't a bad movie. It just had bad elements in it, and I thought the storytelling was actually underrated because it was so tongue in cheek silly.
yeah, yeah. Gore had a good character development in that movie.
It's tough. Yeah, it's like to start a movie with this villain who's like, he loses his daughter to famine, and then the gods look down on him and laugh, and like that's a really cool way of opening it up. But then to just like go with the silly, haha, jokey, corny stuff for the rest of the movie, it was just
Yeah.
it was very like,
Oh,
all right, what are we doing? What is the like vibe and the tone of this movie?
that opening scene when he gets into that like mirage oasis in the desert, and he just shoves that sword up. I was like, "Oh, we're
Yeah.
in for a good one."
Little did we know.
I think that kind of swayed my opinion of the movie. Like I started off, I was like, "Oh, we're in
Yeah.
it. We're in it."
Big time.
I felt the same way, so I get that.
All right.
All right. Any honorable mentions?
Oh yes, honorable mention.
Are we each doing one
We just
honorable
rattle
mention?
Do
Just
whatever
shout
you
them out.
got.
Yeah.
How about U.S. Agent by Wyatt Russell?
Okay. Nice.
That's an honorable.
Oh
mention.
yeah.
I had along the same lines as both of those two. I have Zemo, Helmut Zemo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Zemo
He's
was
so
on my
funny.
list.
The little dance, so great. And the one that I was choosing between Ego and was Yelena Belova, just because I love me some Yelena Belova, man. And she's good. Like she's like obviously she wasn't the villain in Black Widow, but like she was very much trying to kill Hawkeye in Hawkeye, even though she wasn't the main villain of the show. But just yeah, she's great. She's funny. She's like, she's got it all.
Yeah, I think my biggest wild card that I had on my list was Surtur
Oh yeah,
Yes.
from
yeah.
Ragnarok. because he took one of my other picks and just
Oof.
dunked her head in the toilet and gave her a swirly
I can,
effortlessly.
but he can.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he was in it very long, but he was one of the premises of the Ragnarok prophecy.
Yeah.
So he was one of my very far out there wild card picks that I had on my list.
So,
I was just gonna say really quick about
No,
Surtur.
you're
I would
good.
love if they actually do like Thorcore in Secret Wars, and like they'll change it up a little bit from the comic, but I would love to see like a Battle World Surtur, like with all of the Thorcore kind of like being the ones that essentially police Battle World. That would be really sick.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Any other honorable
I'm
mentions?
surprised no one.
Were you-
picked that.
Yeah, I had one honorable mention. A guy I thought about as kind of my wild card, Dreykov from Black Widow. I thought
That would
it was
lose you the
sinister.
draft.
That's why I didn't take him. It's why he's an honorable mention. Is I don't want to lose.
If we were just
That's
talking
honorable mention.
if we were just talking biggest like asshole villains, he would definitely be a first round pick. Again, another one
Yeah.
like it makes my stomach sick just thinking about it. So
another one like High Evolutionary, that there's a lot of like real world historical like kind of parallels there that just kind of makes your skin crawl when you watch him. Just definitely a dick for sure. Also, I was wondering, so we talked about this in the pre-draft. Only reason I didn't take them was because I already took Bucky, but Hydra, I'm surprised they didn't get drafted.
Yeah. It's kind of tough to pick a whole group.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Dormammu didn't get picked, but also not surprised.
Yeah, Dormammu, he was more like essentially like the third act villain of that movie, basically, because it was all I forget the guy's name off the top of my head. Yes, with the crazy black all around his eyes and stuff. You have anybody, Jordan?
Justin Hammer. We mentioned him earlier. I almost picked him, so he's an honorable mention. He's one of my favorites. But and then I guess depends on if you want to count the Mandarin or not.
Yeah.
Because he is not Wenwu, obviously, but the Mandarin from
fake Mandarin.
Iron Man 3, right? The fake one. Who's just an actor. I feel like he was fun, but and he's I always use that line from the trailer whenever anybody says something about like seeing something coming. It's just like you'll never see me coming, that he says. And I thought he was going to be terrifying, and he wasn't. So, but honorable mention.
Hey, they people complain about lack of connectivity, but we saw him in Shang-Chi. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all. And his little pet, the little fluff thing. Whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
I have a soft spot for Iron Man 3. It's one of my favorites, actually, and it's one of those ones where it's like, ooh, the psychology of Tony Stark, the get behind the bravado, take the suit away a little bit. That's some good stuff. That made me like the character way more than Iron Man 2 did. But I digress.
Iron Man 2, I like more than Iron Man 3. I'm not.
I like Iron Man 3 much more than most people. So it's it's one of my comfort movies. Like I just need something stupid to put on. Boom, Iron Man 3.
So, in conclusion, fake Mandarin replaces Kang as the new big bad of the multiverse saga, is what we're saying?
Yes.
I like it.
Excellent.
I know he's going to be the Malcolm Man. He's an actor in every universe.
Move over, Loki. There's a new Yggdrasil in
town. Garrett, before we let you go, do you have a favorite MCU film and a favorite MCU character?
Character, easy. It's Wanda. I love Wanda. I have a favorite Marvel superhero. He hasn't been introduced yet, but just got cast. What was it, last week on Valentine's Day? Big Human Torch guy, but we have yet to see him. But my favorite MCU character so far is definitely Wanda. I'm definitely a Wanda stan. And then favorite film, dang, this is a hard one. I'm not gonna count the Avengers
Okay.
Infinity
It's
War
tough,
or
yeah.
Endgame. I feel like that's kind of like picking Thanos as your first MCU villain. It's like, yeah,
I get it. I get it.
yeah. Oh man,
It's
this is
off
so
the top
tough.
of your head, but like No Way Home. There's.
I think I'm gonna have to go with No Way Home. That theater experience
It's hard to
was
beat.
amazing. Yeah, the theater experience means a lot to me. Especially because I at least try to go see every MCU Marvel movie on premiere
Same.
night. So the theater experience does slightly change my thoughts on the movie, but just having the nostalgic feeling of having Toby back, having Andrew back, but mainly I was more nostalgic for Toby. That was just this first Spider-Man. That was like the
He was
first
our
superhero I grew up
Spider-Man,
watching.
yeah.
So, yeah. So, it was just cool seeing them cross over and then having William Dafoe back as a Green Goblin. I thought, yeah, No Way Home. I've watched that one quite a bit. I won't say I've watched it the most out of all the MCU movies because Iron Man came out, what, 2008?
Yeah.
Iron Man had a head start on No Way Home,
Mhm.
but I think I would go No Way Home. Yeah, I think, yeah, but my favorite character, Wanda.
Nice.
Nice.
I had another question that I'm just like totally blanking on now. So, there you go. It's because it's almost 11 p.m. I guess.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming on.
Wait.
We'd love to have
We
you on
gotta
again.
read off the teams first.
Oh yeah,
before
I
we get
do,
out of here.
don't I?
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
Here we go. So viewers and listeners, you'll be voting on this. When we put this out on the tweet, though, we're going to censor the names of who picked these teams.
Mhm.
But if you were a listener or viewer, you know who picked these people.
Mhm.
My team: Thanos, Red Skull, Kingpin, Vulture, Kang, and He Who Remains.
Yeah, that's tough.
Chris has Loki, High Evolutionary, Mysterio, Namor, and Obadiah Stane.
Nice.
Ron had Killmonger, Winter Soldier, Green Goblin, Agatha Harkness, and Ego. And Garrett had Wanda, Ultron, Wenwu, Hela, and Gore.
Hey. Nice. Good list, boys. Good lists.
What a good
It was
draft.
fun. It was
Make
really
sure you
fun.
tell us in the comments and, when we tweet it out, who wins the draft. Yeah.
I think the best value pick, I think I got to go Kang.
Mhm.
Kang was such a good value pick.
Yeah, he was.
Last pick. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It's because nobody actually likes him.
It was the NFL draft equivalent of like when a guy slips down the board for performance, like character issues, and you're like, do we pick him? Jordan took the 7th round flyer there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with my team. I was hoping I would have got maybe Green Goblin in there, but I could have taken him instead of Kingpin. But I don't think I would have got Kingpin, so if I did. So,
No, you wouldn't have. I would
take what I can
I
get.
would have probably taken him, if probably not with the Goblin pick, but probably on that wraparound he was going to be mine.
Yeah. Okay. Garrett, do you want to share where people can follow you at all on social media?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Garrett Sprints. No space, no special characters, just at Garrett Sprints. And yeah, follow me on Twitter if you want to see some obnoxious Ravens tweets and the occasional Wanda Stan tweets.
I'm here for both of them.
Yeah. Just wait till Human Torch comes
yeah.
out. Just wait.
Yes, then it'll be a Human Torch Stan account.
Yeah. I think they'll share custody.
It'll
of my
be
account.
tortured for Wanda.
Tortured for one.
Yeah. Torching for Wanda. Hey, that's gonna be my spin.
Yeah, there you go.
Garrett.
In a year from now, you can find me at Torching.
Yeah, so I guess Fantastic Four is your most anticipated project, maybe.
I think my most anticipated is
Okay.
Deadpool 3.
It's closer.
I've been closer. I've binged a lot of Deadpool lately. I mean, it's only 2 movies, but I really like Deadpool. If I had to give like my top 3 characters, my top 3, it'd be Wanda, Human Torch, and Deadpool. So, I'm really excited for Deadpool. I love Wolverine. The action movies were what really got me into Marvel. If we're talking like outside of Spider-Man, and I think Wolverine's like a linchpin of the early. He like set the stage for what we have now for the MCU. Showed Marvel that they can make money off of movies and instead of just action figures and pogs.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, there's so much unpredictability. I guess with that Deadpool movie, like while we don't know a lot about this Fantastic Four movie, it doesn't seem like it's going to be one of those movies where it's a multiversal romper and you never know who's going to show up in the next scene. Whereas Deadpool's kind of got that thing going for it.
Yeah, I think we're going to get what we wanted from Multiverse of Madness and Deadpool. So really excited for that. I think, I don't know if you guys, it's pretty late over there. I don't want to dive too much into Deadpool. But,
we can talk about it.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
We can talk about it if you want. Yeah,
what do you got?
Did you guys talk about Deadpool earlier?
No, we did a show about it. I think last week. If there's anything on your mind, feel free, brother.
I think we're gonna see, or I think it's pretty obvious we're probably gonna see Blake Lively as Lady Deadpool. Or what's her name? Ladypool?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Yeah, but
Ladypool, yeah. And then I think we're gonna see why am I blanking on his name? Daniel Radcliffe. I think we might be seeing him. I don't know if he's gonna play Patch, but I think we might see him as like it could be like a 2-second cameo as Wolverine. But I think they might appease the fans a little bit with that speculation, kind of like they did with John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. So I feel like we might get Radcliffe as a cameo of Wolverine.
Yeah, I agree. I said it was going to be him or Taron Egerton when we talked about it, or they might even have them all, just kind of like that poker game. Just have it be a table full of like dream mutant fan casts that we never would have seen. You know, like the Channing Tatum Gambit and like just all kind of wacky stuff like that. Maybe
that sounds like a lot of fun.
Cyclops. Like you never know.
Yeah. Like we've seen Daniel Radcliffe in some pretty interesting movies to where he's playing like a crazy person. And so I feel like we might not see him as like, because in the trailer they like tease Patch. We might not see him as Patch, but I could definitely see him as like a really short cameo to where like he's in it for a second and then his character just gets obliterated.
So because we know like a lot of that movie is going to take place in the Void. So if it's a similar situation like we saw the variants with Loki in the first season of that, where they're all just kind of there on the Void, like, okay, we live here now. That's like our thing. I could totally see them doing that too.
Like I could totally see him having like a character death where like he's just in the Void and he's just sprinting, screaming, running at Goliath, and then dead.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Easy 1 day of filming for Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
Easy check. That's what it is. There's what's that meme of him like standing in the rain with those big like slippers on when he's like screaming?
I don't think so, but that sounds hilarious.
Yeah. That is what I'm picturing, him standing in front of Goliath before he gets obliterated.
Love it.
All right. I guess that'll wrap us up.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to Deadpool. We'll have coverage of it on the podcast, so looking forward to that. Thank you, Garrett, for coming on. And
Yeah,
love to
thanks
have
for
you
having me.
on again sometime.
Oh, absolutely. It was
Hell
a
yeah.
blast.
Do it. Do it. I love the drafts, football too, but I love these MCU drafts. So I'm open whenever. Just let me know. I appreciate it, guys.
All right,
Hell
thank you,
yeah.
and have a great rest of your week. We will catch you next time.
Peace.